He cast a vision. He showed people what was possible, then let them decide. He said, choose life. He said, taste and see. He said, I've set before you blessing and cursing. Now you choose. And when he promised something, he didn't just list the features. He said, a land flowing with milk and honey. That's not a pitch. That's persuasion built on vision. That's the divine blueprint. And today we are about to break it down and show you exactly how to sell like God. First, we have to establish a principle King Solomon used. You see, we have to know the what before we can have the how. Solomon didn't ask for wealth or fame. He asked for wisdom to serve. And that right there, that's the whole game. Because service unlocks favor, wisdom attracts wealth, and solutions, they build legacy. So let me try to stay on point here. Solomon didn't just say, God, help me be wise. No, he said, give me wisdom so I can discern, so I can judge right, so I can solve the hard stuff nobody else knows what to do with. That is what made him different. That's what made leaders, kings, and queens get up off their throne and travel across nations just to hear him talk. They were not looking for empty words from some motivational speech. They were looking for real solutions. Solomon, he had the solutions. And listen, this is where most entrepreneurs fall flat. They show up with a product. They show up with the content. They show up with all this hype, but they don't show up with a real solution. Solomon did not have white label information or general information to sell. He had solutions to problems that could not be Googled, even if Google existed back then. That's why he did not have to chase influence or look for the next sale. You can see that influence came to him. Here's my point. You don't want to have to chase the sale looking for the yes. You want to help people. Let it be known what you do. As more people become aware of your solution, the yes becomes automatic. When you do that, you are no longer bothered by the no's because you realize the no's are not the people you set out to help in the first place. You want your business to pull people in. You want your offer to be so good that the offer itself rises above the noise. This is simple. You need to ask one thing. What problem am I solving that nobody else is solving at this level? Not what product am I excited about? Not what niche looks profitable. No. The real question is, what problem is so painful, so frustrating that when people hear you talk about it, they go, finally, this guy gets it. That's what Solomon tapped into. And that's what scales a business. Look at companies like Amazon. Jeff Bezos didn't just sell books. He solved a problem nobody else saw clearly at the time. Why should I waste time going to the store when I could just click on it and get it delivered to my door? Apple, same thing. Steve Jobs didn't just build a phone. He solved the problem of how do I put a computer, a music player, a phone, and my camera all in one. Google. They did not invent information. They just made it findable. They solved the problem of how do I get to the exact thing that I need without digging through 10 pages of junk. That's what I'm talking about. They didn't start by saying, how do we sell something? They asked, what's the problem and how do we solve it better than anyone else? That is what Solomon tapped into, and that is what scales a business. Serve people at a level so real, so specific, so dialed in that when the right person hears it, they ask the question, why didn't someone tell me about this sooner? And right there, that's when things start to change. Because when the right person hears the right solution, you're no longer pitching your offer. They're asking how fast they can get it. But again, this is another place where people mess up. They build something amazing, and then they go to try to sell it like they're pitching a lawnmower on Facebook Marketplace. They talk about features, they talk about specs, they say, look at how nice it is, look at how much it comes with, look at how it's built. But hear me, people are not buying specs, they're buying a story they can step into. Let me say it like this. People don't buy the thing. They buy what the thing does for them. They buy what it unlocks. Let me bring it to the Bible for a second. When God told Israel about the promised land, he didn't just say, it's got good soil and a few wells. No. He said, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. That's a vision. That is the payoff. That is the future they can step into. But what happened? When the 12 spies scouted it out, 10 of them came back talking about the features and the problems. They said it's got big cities, it's got giants, we can't do it. They saw the facts, but they missed the future. And that right there, that's what bad marketing sounds like. Let me explain this another way. You have a product. Don't sell me the layout. Don't sell me the checklist. Sell me the freedom it gives me. You have a budget planner. Don't tell me 27 pages of printable templates. Tell me what it feels like to finally breathe when I open my bank app. You have a weight loss course. Don't list the workout schedule. Tell me what it's like to pick my clothes in the morning and love the way they fit. People are not chasing features. They're chasing transformation. They're not buying a product. They're buying a result. Just like the Israelites were supposed to chase the land flowing with milk and honey, your customer is chasing a life with less stress, more peace, better time, and more control. But if you don't talk about that result, they won't see it. And when people cannot see the payoff, they don't pay. So here's my point. Stop trying to convince people to buy the thing. Start showing them what life looks like after they have it. You're not here to beg. You're here to cast vision because the moment they see what you really offer, the question flips from, why should I buy this? to why didn't someone show me this sooner? So let's bring it all home. Solomon didn't get rich because he had a title. He got rich because he solved problems no one else could. He didn't just stop at solving them. He made sure people knew the value of those solutions. That's what you have to do. First, solve a real problem. Second, don't just sell the product, sell what it unlocks. Sell the freedom, sell the win. Because listen, the world does not need another product, it needs your solution. It needs the solution you was wired to solve and the vision you were born to cast. So serve with clarity and purpose and sell like God. Don't pitch the features, preach the promise. And when the right person hears it, they will say exactly what they did about Solomon. I've heard the stories, but now I've seen it with my own eyes. Not even half of it had been told. Now go build something worth talking about.